Hello, everybody. Welcome to Yes Have Some podcast. My name is Craig Goldberg. Thank you so much for joining us this evening, this afternoon. I never know when people are listening. That's the new thing I've been getting hung up on lately. Is I wonder.
Doesn't matter.
No, it matters to me. It matters to me. What is that?
Took a long time to get.
What
here.
is that? I'm singing something. I don't know what that is.
I don't know.
I think it's my morning jacket.
It is my morning jacket. Hey, everybody. I want to know when you're listening, so send me a letter in the mail and let me know. Let me know.
A letter in the mail?
An email. One of those emails.
A letter in the email.
I am so excited to be here. Welcome to the podcast, everybody. Jacob Walsh, how are you doing?
I'm okay.
Jake's okay. Jake's doing okay.
I'm okay.
Jake's
Just
okay.
okay?
Jake's okay. That's somewhere between good and bad, right in the middle. Maso Menos.
More or less.
So. Abigail, how are you doing today?
A C is so. Master Manus is more or less. I'm doing well. Apparently, I paid attention during my Espanol class.
Yes, I didn't.
Yeah, I'm
I
ready
never
to do
had
this.
those. I never was.
You didn't take
I never
Spanish?
took one. I didn't take any foreign language.
Oh,
no.
really?
It was a requirement in the state of Georgia. What
Yeah.
school did you go to? Georgia?
One in the
High
state
s-
of Georgia.
Georgia High School?
Honor graduate. Somehow never took a fucking.
Wow.
Whoa, were you Magnum
Foreign
cum
language.
laude? Magnum?
I don't. That's for a different podcast.
Yeah, that cool.
Stop being dirty.
I for
Yeah.
sure took Spanish. So much Spanish.
Yeah,
because I was bad at it.
Dose.
Yeah, but I loved it, and I one of my goals is to eventually learn a second language. So let me know if you can help. First, let me
I'd like to
master
do
this
that.
one. Abigail, how are you?
First, you got to get through a book.
I was about to say the same thing, Jake. In order to learn a language, you're going to have to read a book. Good luck with that, Craig. And
Are we all in bad moods today? Like, this is welcome to Yes
I'm
Have Some.
not.
We're all gonna shit on each other.
I'm good.
I'm not. Are you guys in a bad mood?
Yeah,
We're good. No, I'm in a good mood. I'm in a good mood.
I'm psyched for this trailer. I'm ready to talk about that.
We're gonna be talking about the new Godzilla vs. Kong trailer, which I realized today I've been calling Kong vs. Godzilla. Did they change it at some point, or has it always been Godzilla
No,
vs. Kong?
the original is called King Kong versus Godzilla, so maybe that's what you're thinking of.
Yeah.
I loved that original. That was one of my favorites growing up.
Shut up.
I swear to God. No.
Have you seen it?
Yeah.
You have seen it? Okay.
It was the only VHS I had of like Godzilla. Well, I had a lot of King Kongs. Like I had 1933, 76, Jeff Bridges.
Okay.
But I did love Godzilla vs. Kong, but also hated how weird Kong looks in that movie. Like he's kind of crazy looking, right?
Well, yeah, because he's it's like the Japanese Kong, and they made a couple other. After they made King Kong versus Godzilla, there's a movie called King Kong Escapes, which they use the same costume,
Same Kong.
and there's a Mechanicong, and there's some weird. He does look pretty insane in that movie, but
Yeah. But it's fine.
70. That was the third Godzilla film ever made, and it was the first that was in color.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, yeah, we're going to be talking about that trailer. And but first that, Abigail, how are you doing?
I'm doing
How
well.
you feeling today?
Feeling pretty all right.
Feeling
Thanks.
good?
Yeah, thanks for asking. I watched King Kong yesterday, the 33.
Okay.
On VHS, it's
It's a good movie.
Yeah, and then I was looking at a lot of Godzilla tapes because I wanted to get some, and I sent that to you, Jake. You approved it, so those tapes will be.
I proved it.
That's
Jake
actually
approved?
Jake's official.
I think it had King Kong versus Godzilla in it. Did it not?
I think so. And a lot of
think
people,
so.
Jake, Abigail, and myself, we all are 1/3 partners and co-owners of Yes Have Some, but we actually have official titles. And a lot of people have been asking me, like, what is Jake's official title? And it's CGO, Chief Godzilla Officer. So all
as well as the Slimer consultant.
yes, the Slimer Mask
Slimer
Consult.
Consult. Yeah.
All of our any Godzilla kaiju monster related goings-ons, even personal purchases and choices of movies to watch go
You
through
got to
Jake.
run it by me first, because if you don't, literally the first time I walked into your house, I picked up a Rodan figure and I was like, "Oh, this is Rodan from the Trendmasters line." And neither one of you had any idea what I was talking about.
I looked at
like,
Abby. I
bet
was
that's
like,
since I was little.
I was like, Abby, there's something wrong with this guy. He just blacked out.
I do like having a Godzilla guy. Hal's the Lord of the Rings guy. And Star
Hal's
Wars
the Lord
guy.
of the Rings guy.
Yeah.
And Ryan's our Canadian. Yeah, he's a
DC.
maple syrup expert.
Yeah.
And John is our
Robots.
John likes robots. John likes Gundam.
Gundam.
We have a lot of friends. We have a lot of people. So this is the rundown. This is kind of our second, episode counting down some of our favorite moments for our 5-year anniversary, which is coming up very soon. We'll have details on our 5-year anniversary show coming up in the next couple weeks as soon as we figure them out. By the way, note to self, let's all have a conversation about that. And
Okay.
last week, we could do it on the air, but I don't think people.
We'll just do it right now, then edit this part out. But if we don't do it right now, we're gonna forget.
We're gonna forget. A lot of
We're gonna have a surprise party.
now we're.
for ourselves.
Oh, I can't believe it.
You
I
shouldn't
can't believe
have.
we all showed up.
Oh, you should have. How did you get in touch with everybody? Where's everybody's cars? That's the thing that you always know it's a surprise party where there's 40 cars parked up the street.
Oh, we moved the cars down by the pool.
There you go. We don't have that. So last week we recapped our trip to LA for the 2016 premiere of Ghostbusters: Answer the Call. That was a ton of fun. So thank you guys for sticking with us. Thanks for all the new iTunes reviews. Things are really happening. 5 years, we're on a roll. And we are going to address the Ghostbusters stuff, but let's get right into this big news today. The reason why we waited till the end of the week to do this episode is, we've got Kong versus Godzilla. We've got a trailer. Or Godzilla versus Kong. I'm going to say it wrong
It's
every time.
alphabetical. Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
alphabetical. Just like when Abby was on Disney Plus and she was like, hey, all of the Marvel movies are in release order. And I looked at the screen for 2 seconds. I was like, nope.
No, they are.
But they are. It's a chronological order of time. That's how they do it. So,
Yeah.
anyways, all right. So let's set the stage. Godzilla vs. Kong, legendary, Warner Brothers, coming out at the end of March. I think March 26, HBO Max and theaters. This is the fourth movie in this franchise, starting with 2014's Godzilla, Skull Island, then King of the Monsters, and finally this movie's been delayed so many times. So Jake, I'm going to give you the floor, and I do have access if we want to highlight certain clips or anything. We can look at it as we go for the YouTube feed. So first thoughts, Jake. I know you've been waiting for this. What was your reaction?
Oh, my first reaction was a little bit of I don't want to use the word annoyance because it's not. I'm not annoyed by anything, but there's a thing that we've talked about before, and that we've talked about specifically for this movie is that King Kong is a good guy, Godzilla is a good guy. It makes no sense for them to fight. It just doesn't.
Right.
And it's always been an annoying thing when they've done movies like that in the past, where it's like, okay, if you got two villains fighting each other or two good guys fighting, they always have to make up some stupid reason why you should root for somebody.
Right.
And in this trailer, it looks like the first two films do nothing but set up the fact that Godzilla is like the savior of humanity.
Yes.
The King of the Monsters ends with him being like, he is what is needed to have balance. He keeps all these creatures in check. He's a badass. The planes are flying alongside of him. And now all of a sudden it's like, he's a bad guy now. That's stupid to me, unless it makes sense. And they did allude in the trailer that there's something wrong with him. And as long as that thing is cool, it looks cool to me. Like, it looks like there's some good visuals. Now, I have a theory, but I want to hear what you guys thought of the trailer before I give you my John Yerkeba theory.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool.
Respect.
Abigail, first reactions. Well, let's backtrack. Are you a fan of this series? Like the original? The original, like
2014.
Gareth Edwards, yeah.
Yeah,
Like, yes.
Gareth
yes.
Edwards movie.
Yes, I thought I enjoyed those movies for the most part. I thought that the last installment was like possibly a little bit more, I don't know, not quite as exciting as I wanted it to be. But this trailer was like gleefully exciting and like awesome in the way that, Jake, you've been saying that it's kind of dumb to pit two monsters like that against each other without a clear reason to be fighting. I think it's kind of dumb too, but it seems worth it just with the way that the music pairs up with it and the way that you see Godzilla and King Kong going at each other in the daylight, like on those ships. I thought that was extremely exciting, and that was footage that was kind of I think it proved the trailer and like the worth of the movie to me. Like I'm very excited to see that stuff play out on screen. Yeah, and overall, I think the tone is a little bit more like energized and it's not taking itself too seriously, which would have been one of my critiques about the last movie is that it felt maybe a little bit heavy-handed. So I'm looking forward to it. Overall, I'd give it like a A+ for a trailer. Can you not give?
No, that's just funny. You were like, overall, I think I'd give it A+, the best possible rating.
Yeah, I mean, I have. It's probably because I haven't seen a trailer in so long.
Yeah, it was just nice to be watching
Yeah.
the trailer.
This is very
That's true.
exciting.
That's
Yeah,
true.
it was good. I had absolutely no complaints. So
Yeah.
I felt good about it.
I mean, I get the feeling that whatever they're showing us in this trailer, predominantly, any of the stuff of Kong and Godzilla fighting probably is from the first third of the movie.
First half of the movie, yeah. maybe.
Because like it seems like, well, like let's go to the tape. I kind of want to look at a couple of these things, and we're not going to have sound because we don't want to get
shut
dinged.
down.
But we'll kind of walk through some of this. So it kind of starts off telling this little story of like, hey, there's monsters. We think there was this huge war. By the way, they're alluding to this war that happened at some point. Show me that movie. Show me the war monster movie. So the first thing that struck me here that we're looking at is Kong, the traditional Kong on the the big what do they call these things?
Barge.
It's a barge.
Yeah.
It's a Kong
Carrier.
barge.
Yeah.
We've been using barge as our own term for so long. You've forgotten what an actual
I forgot what an
barge
actual
is.
barge
Right.
was. Like somebody's
Love
like,
that.
guys, look what I bought from Skull Island. It was in the
Barge.
gift shop. It's a barge on a barge. I loved seeing this because one thing I've been wondering is, well, how does Kong get involved in this? And like the only way to ever bring Kong
looks
off
like they kidnap him.
Yeah, it's always that same thing. They're
Like in the fetal tied down.
yeah. But kind of a bummer to see him like that. But that's a really good visual. I mean, that looks really good. Like I love that.
Yeah.
Skipping forward a little bit, they kind of allude to. That's a really good shot of Kong too. He looks so bummed, by the way, to be in those chains.
He's annoyed.
Yeah, wouldn't you be?
He's like, "Cool,
Yeah.
I was gonna go out today. I had plans." So Jake, what did you think? And I want to lean on you a little bit. They kind of allude to part of the story is that there's this like a young girl who communicates with Kong, and maybe like, it's not unheard of to have Kong having maybe a human fascination,
bond, yeah.
forming a bond. But what'd you think of that stuff?
That stuff I thought was cool, but it really, really made me think of the old the Gamera films. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Gamera, but he's like a giant turtle, and it was kind of a lot of people were like, "Oh, I wonder if Gamera is going to be in the new Godzilla movies," and it's like, no, because Gamera and Godzilla is kind of like a DC Marvel thing. It's owned by a different
Okay,
thing.
gotcha.
Yeah.
But Gamera always kind of had like a connection with a child.
Yeah,
that
his name was like
that's kind of
Timmy or
fun.
something.
So-
I watched those movies on Mystery Science Theater 3000, so I'm kind of familiar
Well,
with
that's
Yeah,
inappropriate because they shouldn't be making fun of them.
Yeah, I grew up making fun of those movies, but I also like them. I like the premise
Yeah.
of a kid connecting with a huge monster. It's cool.
Do we think that she's like native to Skull Island, or
That's possible, yeah. But I mean, like either that or, I mean, that's clearly Skull Island, right? That image
Right,
that
right,
looks
right.
like it.
Yeah.
There's, it must be.
right? So they don't do too much plot revelation other than to kind of make general broad strokes of, there's a war and we need like it almost. Is there a Godzilla heel turn like that happens before this movie?
Well,
they need to bring Kong in.
I think so for sure. I think that's going to happen off screen because like the first half of this trailer is like everybody talking about how badly they need Kong. They're like, we got to get
Right,
Kong, and
right.
it's like, well, why? Because Godzilla is the protect. So clearly something is up with Godzilla here.
Right. This was a cool shot where you see the Kong touching his finger to the young girl. Kind of like the last trailer. I thought King of the Monsters was a really fun movie, but that first trailer, the what was it, Charles Dance from Game of Thrones, whatever the line is that he says, like "Long live the king," with the what was that musical
Claire
piece?
de Lune.
The Claire de Lune.
Yeah, Claire
Yeah.
de Lune.
That was an unbelievably epic trailer, and I think this one kind of holds up. There's a lot of neon in this trailer. The color palette is like kind of different than we've seen in these movies, especially
It
that
is,
first,
yeah.
the 2014 Godzilla movie is kind of like very drab
Camo and
yeah.
yeah, exactly.
And also, why was WandaVision and Quicksilver married in that movie? Weird.
So weird.
This is my brother Petro. He was killed by Ultron. Spoilers.
No.
Okay, so let's get to the battle here, because Jake, I want to get your thoughts on this. I mean, I know you've been waiting for these first shots. So you got Godzilla coming out of the water, and I'm trying to get like, oh, just look at that.
Yeah.
Just look at that. You got Godzilla, Kong coming to blows. You've got this. Abby looked up the music, so give me the 411 on that.
I think it was Chris Classic.
Chris Classic.
He does like music for movies.
Okay, and it's like a
basically.
Junkie XL remix. Jake, what'd you think of the musical choice?
Oh, I hated the music.
Okay.
I hated the music. As soon as it started, it threw me off, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
I liked it.
hated
It
the music.
reminded me
I
of
loved it.
Come With Me,
Exactly.
Godzilla
It
98.
It reminded me of like a song at the end, like that would be on one of those like wrestling. It sounded like a wrestler's.
This guy
entrance
does
thing.
other wrestling music.
Yeah,
too.
he does like
Of
wrestling.
course
themes.
he does. It's awful. Of course he does.
I'm glad it wasn't one of those like inspirational.
He does like Alvin and the Chipmunks WrestleMania remix. Just the
Yeah.
good stuff.
All right, cool.
I'm glad it wasn't one of those inspirational like WrestleMania songs like "And we're coming home again," like some just stupid shit about Godzilla coming home.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got these really cool shots. Dude, they're on a. That's not the barge. That's like a
big boat.
that's an aircraft carrier. That's a
Like,
USS
Carrier,
flag.
yeah, that's what I was
That's a
saying.
GI Joe USS
Fuck,
flag.
like, that's. It's weird.
The
to me that
YHS
there's
Boats episode.
Two creatures on a boat. That
So
makes no sense to me.
yeah, but anyway, so just kind of moving. I want to highlight a couple stuff. I can't.
Couple
talk.
stuff.
I want to highlight a couple things.
Happy 5 years.
This shot looks very reminiscent of the the shots that we saw a lot of in King of the Monster, like
where
that
it's
that electric
Straight
blue,
blue, yeah.
nuclear. I don't know.
I love that. It's like,
Look at that. So for our listeners,
this
is
trailer got me so hyped.
this is the shot of King Kong standing, like basically about
He's
to do
jumping
his Olympic dive,
or whatever. Yeah.
Michael Phelps.
his gold medal award winning. And he's got. So obviously, right here, you see like this is atomic breath coming out of the water, right?
Yeah. That's him destroying that boat.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I mean, the music didn't bother me. This trailer got me pretty hyped overall. And listen, I'm not expecting the human stuff in this movie to be mind blowing, because it sometimes
That's not what it's for.
Sometimes I mean, Jake, what's the traditional thought on plots of Godzilla movies? Like, is it more you just want to see the monsters fighting, or let me into that world a
No,
little bit.
I mean it depends. Like it kind of goes all over the place, and there are groups of people who say, "Oh, it's a Godzilla movie, so it doesn't matter if the humans are stupid." But I think that's sort of a lazy thing. Like I want the human plot to still make sense and to interact, but I just don't want it to like overcome the monster. I don't need it to be too like King of the Monsters. I think had way too many human characters. There were like
Right, there was kind of a lot
50
going on.
humans in there.
Right.
Godzilla 2014 I thought was perfect. It had a very good.
Well, the plot was great
I think
in that,
yeah.
yeah.
you feel like you care equally about both things that are happening, and they intertwine multiple times in a realistic way. That's what you want.
Hey,
I don't
I'm-
think that's what you get anymore. But
Right. I'm glad Kyle Chandler's back in this movie. Put him in every movie.
Yeah.
He's
me
the
too.
best.
He's great.
Yeah.
great.
Oh, what is this? What city is this? What are we looking at here?
I don't know.
Like,
Tron, it looks like Tron.
Yeah.
It's
Gotham.
like Godzilla gets sucked.
looks
into
like
Tron.
Times Square from Answer the Call.
Yeah.
Honestly, there's a lot of color here, a lot of bright neon colors. And then you just got your normal montage, human character stuff. One of the things that always impressed me about Kong Skull Island is just how good Kong looked in that movie, and
Yeah.
he's back, and like the VFX are really, really like top notch. So.
Yeah. Soft and detailed.
Jake, you've talked a lot before about how you liked how Skull Island took place during the day and you could really see everything.
Yeah, he looks it. Skull Island. Everything about Skull Island is really great visually. It looks so good, and I liked how much a lot of it takes place right in the middle of the day. And if you can do monster movies like this and have it in the daytime, I mean, everybody knows that nighttime shots are what people do to hide visual effects. Like Wonder Woman 84 was all nicely bright and lit until Cheetah shows up, and it's like, hey, let's put the Cheetah scene pitch black.
Well,
Yeah.
because it's a
We
cheetah.
know
It's in the
that
dark.
you're hiding stuff.
Cheetahs hide at night.
No,
No?
none of that is
None of
true.
that? That's not what happened?
It was to cover up bad special effects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I like daytime stuff, and I'm not saying that all nighttime stuff is bad, but it's just, I mean, look at that shot. Like that's nice. That's nice to look at.
That shot right
Look
there.
at that.
is
Look at the
nice shot.
war
I fucking-
bats. Those look cool.
Okay, so now we're back on Skong. Back on Skong Island. This is the part of the trailer where they're kind of referencing a war. So maybe this is like a flashback scene. Maybe this is beginning of the movie. But you see, before that, you see Kong wielding. What has he got in his hand there, Jake?
It looks like an axe with a Godzilla spine sticking out of it.
Well, okay.
Okay.
Yes, he went to the planet with the dude from Game of Thrones and had this made. He was waiting in line behind
Raccoon.
Thor and Rocket.
Okay.
Thor's like, Tesseract. Okay. But then you cut to him. What are these creatures he's swinging around into each other on a Skull Island?
The toys have revealed these guys. They're called war bats.
Okay. That's very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they look like snakes with wings or something.
And you know, we saw Skull Island, but it looks like they've injected definitely some more color here. There's some bright greens and purples, like in the mountain landscape or the side of the hills there. Some very cool stuff. So overall, I'm really into the color palette of this movie. So no complaints there. And then listen, just more shots of Godzilla and Kong back in the Tron City. Only this one shot of Millie Bobby Brown. I guess she's still.
No, she's in it. She
There's
talks
another
earlier.
moment.
Oh,
Yeah,
she pops
she's in
up
like a
earlier?
bar scene.
She says something about God. She has a line of dialogue about something's wrong with Godzilla.
Something's wrong. What is
Well, maybe
wrong
whatever's
with-
wrong with him is what was wrong with everything on Skull Island, which is why Kong had to fight everybody, and then maybe the last man standing, and may need to. Okay.
I got a theory to what's wrong with Godzilla, but I'm gonna wait until we get done.
So
with this
we get through
trailer.
it.
Okay.
Okay. And if Jake, if there's any other parts you wanted to highlight specifically.
Well, the very last thing that you kind of skipped past. Well, this is it right here, which is
Oh, look
they've
at
been
that shot.
showing.
So cool.
So Godzilla shoots his atomic breath at Kong, and
Right.
Kong's axe absorbs it because it's a Godzilla spine.
It's made of Godzilla. It's Beskar,
It's
basically.
made of Godzilla spine, so it kind of absorbs the energy. It looks
Right.
like.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
No, it's very cool, and that's kind of a that's your Mondo poster shot right there.
Right. Craig and I were like stopping and rewinding to try to figure out. I was like, well, what can contain that? Like,
Right.
what is that? It's not just his hand.
So this shot near the end of the trailer is beautiful. It's a close up of Kong with his his mouth gaping open, and to me that looks just like the Kong from the old.
That looks frightening.
This is very frightening, but it took me back to Universal Studios. Took me to Kong
for
this.
sure.
This movie is Godzilla waiting in line and going on his own confrontation.
Confrontation.
That's what they should have called it. And then they got it's kind of the superhero shot where you've got Kong flying through the air with this axe. And taking on the atomic breath, and I'm telling you, this is like 10 minutes into the movie. Like, there's gonna be a huge. Now, what happens? What makes them decide to team up?
We've talked about Mothra.
We've talked about. We have.
Yeah, we talked about the mother, Martha.
Oh, Martha.
Mothra was on one of the posters.
Okay.
I think Rodan might be in there somewhere. I don't know. Like, those, there's other. We know there's going to be other monsters.
Right.
There's going to be skull crawlers.
Do we want to highlight the little trailer Easter egg that's been going around? I think maybe we should
that's part of my theory. I need to talk about.
So let's give a little possible spoiler warning. It's in the trailer, but it's quick. So if you missed it and you don't know what we're talking about, just maybe skip ahead a couple minutes. But I don't think this is if it's in the trailer, it's kind of
it's in the trailer. So yeah, it's in the
Uh,
trailer. People are going to find it. It's already out there. We're going to talk about it.
Where in the trailer is it? Is it earlier?
4 seconds. It's 4 seconds into the trailer. I think that explosion you're seeing there, that's it right there.
Okay,
Pause
here we
right
go.
There. So first off, about a year ago at a toy I don't know if it was I don't know where it was, but there was a toy show a year ago at this point, and that's where some of the Godzilla toys were unveiled, and there was a spoiler figure.
Okay.
Figure's not been released yet. We have never talked about it on the show because it was a spoiler, but now that it's in the trailer, I'm talking about it.
We're talking
Mechagodzilla is in this movie.
Mechagodzilla's in this movie. Okay.
That's Mechagodzilla.
Yeah.
That's like you pause that is Mechagodzilla right
so
there.
if you're listening at home and if you're not watching the video, it's about 4 or 5 seconds into the trailer. You see this explosion, people coming down a staircase, and in the background you see his mouth. Correct?
Yeah, and it's a very short shot, but it looks like he's either it sort of looks like he's flying over the city, which the original Mechagodzilla could fly, so maybe.
The way
but
his
it
head's
looks
positioned
like he
downward.
looks gliding. He you see him go over the whole shot there, but it's clearly Mechagodzilla. So here's what my theory is.
So we got the theory here.
And people who
let me go back to full screen.
This just can't. I have known Mechagodzilla was going to be in this for a bit, and I was wondering, like, okay, so when you put two good guys together, at some point they team up towards a bigger bad, right? So I'm like, okay, Godzilla, maybe they team up against Mechagodzilla. I thought that was a weird choice. I thought it would maybe be Mecha King Ghidorah, since they allude to that at the end of King of the Monsters, but then I was talking to Jay Key today after watching this trailer, and something hit me.
Jay Key, friend of the podcast.
Godzilla Resource.
Podcast. So official Godzilla Resource, Jay Key. So in the original Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla, which is I think came out in 74 or 75, one of those, Mechagodzilla shows up. Let me backtrack. Godzilla shows up. This is in a continuity in which Godzilla is a protector. He's a good guy. So the movie starts, Godzilla shows up, and he's fucking shit up, and he's destroying things, and he's killing people, and people are like, something's wrong with Godzilla. And even like one of Godzilla's other monsters that's usually an ally kind of shows up, and he's like, hey man, what's going on? And then Godzilla breaks his jaw, and he's like, okay, something's wrong with Godzilla. And then about, I don't know, 20 or 30 minutes into that movie, a second Godzilla shows up. A very confused, annoyed second Godzilla shows up. These two Godzillas fight. And then you quickly realize that the first Godzilla is wearing a Godzilla suit and is, in fact, Mechagodzilla. So my theory is that King Kong's not fighting Godzilla.
Okay.
King Kong's fighting Mechagodzilla.
In a suit.
And the real Godzilla is incapacitated. Is that the word? He's somewhere.
It cut out for
some incapacitated.
Incapacitated.
Yeah.
In the original.
Yes.
In the original,
unavailable.
I pulled a Craig.
The internet did something right with that, and you kind of froze, and all I heard was "in potated" or something like that. He was
Godzilla's in potated.
Yeah.
In the original Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla, Mechagodzilla is not created by humans to fight Godzilla. He's an alien creation. Aliens create Mechagodzilla, and their plan is to bring him down, kill Godzilla, and take over the Earth. And if that's what they're doing in King Kong, in Godzilla vs. Kong, that would be amazing. If they're gonna, they already said that King Ghidorah was an alien creature, and if they want to go so far as to have Mechagodzilla be an alien creation and be in a Godzilla suit for the first half of the movie, I am into that.
Dude, if this movie ends with NASA strapping Godzilla and Kong to a rocket to send to some other planet to fight these aliens. Oh yeah, it's like Independence Day.
Yeah, or Independence Day.
Hey, I gave it a cold.
I feel like the tone of this movie could happen, Jake. Like it seems like it's not too serious. It seems like maybe something like that could be plausible.
Well,
and I like it.
The last movie.
I mean, I hope so, because it's like you don't. It's like as fun as it is to watch Kong and Godzilla fight. It's like I don't really want to see that. I do not want that to be the main. I want to see them be friends, and to team up, and like to have a moment in the movie where you realize like that's not Godzilla. That's not him. That's a villain. That would be cool.
I'm praying for a Godzilla multiverse where like the 54 guy shows up in the suit and everyone's like that.
Doctor Strange shows up and like, all the Godzillas come out.
But you know what I really like the 2014 movie. It's a more grounded, if you can be grounded in this universe approach.
I think so too.
The last movie, and listen, no Godzilla expert by any means, not even close. not even honestly, the fact that I'm talking about it at all is a shame. But the last movie kind of leaned more into this is a monster movie. Let's kind of not take ourselves too seriously. Let's, no matter. And so I feel like we've gotten to a point, and then Skull Island is kind of a combination of both. It's grounded, but it's also like really fun and big, and like it's a modern monster movie. And I like the idea of like build out this universe, jump the shark, do crazy stuff, because at the end of the day, like that's
at this point, why not?
Why not?
I mean, they kind of already did, and like 2014 is ridiculous.
Right,
I mean,
right.
not 2014, but
The last
King
one,
of the
yeah.
Monsters.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
and it really kind of echoes the original Toho movies, because the original Godzilla film was very much like 2014. It was like serious. It was kind of scary. It was like it was, and then immediately. 2 movies later, you got Godzilla versus Kong. So
Right.
it kind of and Godzilla versus Kong has got them like King Kong getting drunk and falling asleep and fighting an octopus and stuff.
Right,
so,
right.
Like,
That's cool.
Dude, that
those
octopus
movies are all
scene.
over the place too. Like
Yeah.
something that I think would be like fun to see is that there are a couple, there's a couple like tentpole Godzilla films where it's like, okay, in this movie we're gonna have 10 monsters, and it's gonna be like a big battle royal, or we're gonna be like there's a space villain, and all 8 or 9 monsters got to fight this one guy. So like, if the end of this movie is Godzilla, Kong, Mothra, and Rodan having to fight Mechagodzilla for like the sake of the planet,
The galaxy,
that just sounds fun to me.
Of course, it sounds amazing. Now,
Yeah.
So Abby, any other thoughts on the trailer? Any other reactions?
It's fun.
You
Like,
were
it
like
just-
fist pumping.
Yeah,
Like, it was kind of
yeah.
a feel good kind of
I
thing.
watched it on my own too. Like after you left the room, I legitimately was like, "Oh, this gets me psyched. This is like what I need. It's a good dopamine releaser to see something exciting."
Well,
Like that.
Jake, a lot of people don't know this. You love seeing people get into fights. Like that's just something you like.
What if the whole movie was like shot
watching that?
from someone's
Yeah,
cell
the whole movie.
At a
Somebody was
Walmart?
like World Star in the background.
right. Yeah,
Oh my God.
the whole thing is just an iPhone or a Facebook video. Now I'm excited about it. Jake, what is the Godzilla community? What's their reaction so far? Have you dove into this yet?
It's hard. It's pretty split. I've seen some people who really, really hated King of the Monsters say that this trailer looked really fun.
Yeah.
But I tend to stay out of some. I'm in a couple, Godzilla community groups or whatever, but like some of the opinions that some of these people have, it just annoys me to a point that I'm just like, I kind of stay out of it. Mainly people are looking pretty excited about it. So
Cool. Good. Well, that's good. It's good to hear. Mm-hmm. Jake, any final thoughts? I mean, the movie's right around the corner, so
it's coming soon. Yeah.
Now, what's everybody's plan? Are we going to the theater? Are we on HBO? What are we doing?
I'm gonna go to the bathroom
theater.
and get on my phone and watch
I'm
the
going
whole
to a
thing.
theater. I'm watching this in a theater.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. There's no question. This is the kind of thing that was made to be experienced on a big screen.
Yeah. So it's near the end of March. Theaters have been open in Georgia basically this whole time. So,
my theater is open. I'll probably be the only person there.
yeah. But it is kind of like, well, how do you feel about being able to watch it in the theater, then come home and immediately watch it again on HBO?
I'm gonna do that. Like there's no. That's exactly what I'm gonna do.
Now that I like.
But
yeah.
here's the thing, and this is what I want to explain to everybody out there. As a real fan, not only is Jake going to see it in the theater and then watch it at home as much as possible on HBO, he's going to buy the Blu-ray when it comes out.
I'm gonna buy it. Yeah, I'm gonna pre-order it.
That's how you know if you're a real fan.
Yeah.
Just letting you know. Well, cool. So that's going to be end of March. We'll have a full review when that happens. And yeah, go watch a trailer. If you haven't seen it, go watch it.
That's exciting. That's our next big thing.
And
think it's the next big
watch, and it's some homework. Go watch the original King Kong versus Godzilla and Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla. But the original Godzilla.
Let's do that.
I'm doing that.
Well, let's do episodes where we recap those leading up to it. We'll have Godzilla versus Kong week on Yes Have Some podcast.
I'm coming up to you guys. We're watching those movies together.
Yes.
We're not watching. I'm not going to let you pause.
I was about to say,
You
Jake,
know what?
we need
You
policing.
can pause in Godzilla versus King Kong. It's okay.
I don't want to pause. I do want to pause.
Okay.
I want to pause.
I don't want to pause. Okay.
Okay. Okay. So before we get to our recap, our 5-year anniversary memory lane, as I called it last week, we do have to talk about this Ghostbusters news. There was 4 Ghostbusters things that happened in sequential order last week. First, the Twinkies, then the cereal, then Muncher, live from Italy, live from.
We all discovered how cute Italian kids are.
And then
I did not.
Oh, Jake, no, still so. No.
What? Yes, let's clarify that. Muncher. Fuck the cereal and the Twinkies. Yes, we're getting Ghostbusters product.
We're getting cereal and Twinkies. Done.
Yeah, done. We knew it.
We knew
Love
about it.
Gonna
It's
buy it
cool.
all. Gonna buy
Gonna
it
do
all. Okay. Muncher. So this is what happened. An Italian, what was it? Top Chef? Master Chef Junior.
kids.
Master Chef Junior.
Junior.
Master Chef Junior.
I almost said Kids Top Chef. I was
Kids
making up
Top
my
Chef.
own.
No, that's a real thing too.
Okay.
Yes.
We can only imagine that this was filmed prior to pandemic and was scheduled to be on television now, leading up to the release of Ghostbusters Afterlife. Something along those lines. It was one of those things where part of the episode was Ghostbusters themed. They had like 4 dudes in, I don't know if you guys know, it's complete spirit gear. 100%.
Yeah.
Spirit pack, spirit, all this. And then they had an ecto, and then they had this model.
It's like a statue.
The statue puppet of Muncher. Now, when I first saw this, my initial reaction was, listen, just like Slimer, it's hard to replicate these translucent ghosts in statue form. But something happened that I didn't foresee happen, because this was like, I kind of got the feeling like, I bet they're a little bit bummed that this is out there. Like, people know about Muncher, but not really. What happened was, in the mainstream world of social media, outside of the Ghostbusters
Meme
community,
culture.
in meme culture, everybody latched onto Muncher.
Yes.
Yeah, it became
yes.
a thing.
It was
Something about the sadness of the way that he looks, like up on the thing.
So-
I think the bizarreness of the video, like it was all lent itself to being something that you could like insert into.
But I kind of thought it was great because like Muncher's, I don't know, he's crazy looking, but in like a cute, sad way.
Yeah.
And I did check with sources to see what the feeling was at the higher up echelons of the Ghostbusters inner workings. And people are happy about this. Listen, this is good press for Ghostbusters.
I thought we were the final word on Ghostbusters.
We are the final word
That
on
was
Ghostbusters.
us.
I checked with Jake.
You checked with Jake?
Yeah,
called
CGO.
me
Jake
and I
said,
said, yeah,
it's
it's
cool to talk
fine.
about Muncher.
Chief Ghostbusters officer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, we are the final
Head
authority.
Slimer consultant.
I liked it. It was cool. We don't have to go much. We're going to have so much Muncher.
I loved it, and I think the kids on that show, they are some of the few people who understand what the Ghostbusters community feels like, where it's like, we saw something really cool, but we can't talk about it for a really long time, and we're not going to get to see it.
Actually, a lot of people don't know. The one kid, the short one, that was actually GB Max. This was filmed 25 years ago. A lot of people don't know that. And he's been holding it in. Do you know what it was like for GB Max to not post about
His
Muncher?
cake was a banner that said, thank you, Ghostbusters.
Thank you, Ghostbusters. We love GB Max.
We do.
So cool to
He's
get to meet that guy. But anyways, Muncher is a thing. There's tons of Muncher memes out there. Go find them. And but let's talk about the big thing, the sad thing. Ghostbusters Afterlife has once again officially been delayed till November 11th. So it has gone from summer 2020 to spring 2021 to summer 2021, and now we're into fall 2021. I say push it to January of 2022, and we'll cover all the seasons.
Yeah, I would
I
like
hope-
a poster with every date on it.
I hope whenever we get to the next release date, they're like, hey, you know what? We're going to push the release forward back to January 2019. And people just to confuse people.
What?
All of a sudden, we're like, memories, we're like, oh, we have already seen this.
I love it.
It's tattooed inside of my...
All of a sudden, Jake's like, dude, that Muncher puppet looked nothing like Muncher. Like, how did you even know?
We have the memories planted in. Oh, my God.
So there's not really a whole lot to say other than, listen, I know people are bummed, people are upset, some people are saying put it on streaming, put it on demand. I don't know. Everybody's a film expert, studio executive. I don't know, like, listen, all the movies are getting pushed except for the Warner Brothers ones because they have their own streaming service. Even Disney might push Black Widow And they have Disney Plus. They could release Black Widow tomorrow and 500 million people would see it.
Yeah.
But
the thing is that it just like you just said, it's just your own personal want to see a movie has nothing to do with like the inner workings of studios and the theater and production companies. And if they need to push their movies, they need to put. Wonder Woman did pretty poorly.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It went straight to streaming, and I don't think that's just because it's a piece of trash. It didn't do well because
it was set up.
This
for
is
success.
a bad way to release movies, and I think if you're a fan of Ghostbusters. If the company, if Sony, if Jason, if Eric, if Ghost Corps, if all of them are kind of coming together to say like, hey, we got to push this a little bit further, and you're not into that, then you're not a real fan.
Damn.
Period.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Period.
Real
if you're
fan check.
complaining, yeah, you can complain that it's supposed to be out already. But if you're one of those like, just put it on streaming, this is a bad move, my son, then you're an idiot. And that's all I have to say about it.
Listen. There is a difference between being frustrated by the situation.
Right.
We're all frustrated. Like
Yeah.
I want to go to the mall and eat a big ass pretzel. I probably could do that if I wanted to.
Dude, I was trying to
But
order
I'm
a
not getting-
pretzel
you
to the
can do
house yesterday. Couldn't find anywhere to get a pretzel.
But seriously,
hard.
like I get the frustration. I get we have all been waiting a very, very long time. The movie's done. There is excitement. We want to see it. But I put up a tweet. I made a tweet. I did a tweet.
I tweeted.
Active on Twitter at YHS Podcast, where to sum up what I said, listen, Jason Reitman, his intention is for the people who are dying to see this movie to sit in a theater and watch this film. You know why that's his intention? Because he's a filmmaker. He's an award-winning filmmaker.
Son of a filmmaker.
He's a son of a filmmaker. He's in a film
it's his-
family.
It's his movie.
It's his movie.
Yeah.
It's not your movie.
No.
It's Jason Reitman's
Jason
movie,
Reitman
and
took-
he's going to do what he wants with it.
Yeah,
let
if
me
your
go-
kid's sick and they're not ready to go play on the field, sports, then you're going to keep them in the house till November 11th.
So listen, a couple things. I want to address a couple things. There was mostly people thought it was a good take. Some people reacted poorly to it. And this is not about, okay, if your take is by putting this movie out in theaters, you're endangering people's lives. Here's what I'm going to tell you. If it's not safe to go to theaters by November 11th, they're going to push this movie again. Like that is not what we're talking about until there's a vaccine that is national and that they've, basically knocked this virus out. We might not get this movie in theaters. That's just a fact. 2, people were like, it's not Jason's decision. First of all, how do you know whose decision it is? Were you at the meeting? Do you have a 10-minute video of your private tour of Ghost Corps on YouTube?
Did you sit in the Ecto one?
Did you get the keys?
I watched that video this morning. It's great. No. But seriously, listen. You don't know what the inner workings are. The fact is that they're trying to relaunch Ghostbusters as a franchise. They need to make money on it. And as from a financial experience, from a movie-going experience, collectively, Jason Reitman, Ghost Corps, Ivan Reitman, Dan Aykroyd, Tom Rothman, who runs Sony Pictures, they're saying, we want this to be a theater experience, and that's it. So anybody who here's my other favorite argument. Well, the hype is dead for this movie, so no one's... There's been... Stop! They haven't even started the marketing for
Barely
this
been
movie.
a whisper.
Like, at some point, the marketing machine will start, and everybody will be excited about Ghostbusters. And if you are so mad next November that you didn't get to watch it on your iPhone while taking a shit at home, then don't fucking go see it. That's my take.
Very nice.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
I don't think we
my
need to
take
spend
is
any more
good.
time on that.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's done. It's done.
Wait. Yeah.
What we're saying is we're all excited to see the movie, and when it's out, we're gonna have a big fucking party. It's gonna be amazing, and it's gonna be the greatest thing ever, and it's gonna be great.
Yeah.
And all you naysayers aren't invited to the
No,
Yeah, it's not about what's best for you. It's about what's best for
checking
Ghostbusters.
We're checking your Facebook history at the door.
yes.
You'd be like, this guy said he said just stream it. Get the fuck out.
It's like, now I'm
don't deserve this.
I'm gonna be at the door and be like, let's see, I'm checking your Facebook wall. On June 11th, the original release date, you made a post saying that you were bummed that you couldn't see Ghostbusters today. That sounds pretty negative. You're out.
What was your YouTube handle? Okay.
You're subscribed to Al Smith. Out of here.
I love Jacob Walsh so much.
Me too.
And Jacob does not, as the
I love it.
as the CGO, Chief Ghostbusters Officer, he does not speak for the podcast. He just speaks for
He
himself.
speaks for himself. Which is why we like
That's
him.
not true.
Okay, that's not true. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about Memory Lane. By the way, everybody who's been with Yes Have Some for 5 years know it's fun. It's all in fun. Knows,
Yeah.
knows. This is all for fun.
Oh, absolutely.
Because as soon as this is over, I'm gonna call Sony Pictures. And I'm gonna be like, you guys should release it
Yeah.
right now.
I'm drafting an email to Eric,
You're texting Eric right now.
actually.
Yeah. Dear Eric and Ghost Corps, have you guys considered releasing it video on demand? Because I really want to see
Yes.
it.
Subject, selfish.
Subject, the positivity only goes so far. Yes, we're all freaking out and excited about Ghostbusters Afterlife, but we're going to wait till November. I do have a
I'll
feeling
wait for you.
it's going to come out in November, and
We're putting out Ghostbusters Afterlife promise rings,
we are.
so you can all wait.
Nobody's allowed to watch a movie until Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Yeah.
And it's going to be tracked by, the church and everything.
Okay. Our church.
Our church, the Church of Yes Have Some. By the way, this shirt, I need somebody to design the shirt, but this was coined by Austin Young. If somebody asks if you're a god, you say YHS. That has to be a shirt.
Yeah.
But somebody go design it so I don't have to.
For sure.
All
That's
right.
cool.
All right, so let's do memory lane here. Let's take you back to a little time called 2017. Yes Have Some was only about a year and 3 months old. We barely knew each other. I want to give the background of this.
Barely you, Craig.
Abigail and myself were on a cross-country road trip. I had a family reunion happening in Las Vegas. We had gotten married at some point earlier. We didn't go on one of those fancy honeymoon trips, unless you count going to 4 Targets and 6 Walmarts over one weekend. And we decided we're going to take this cross-country road trip. We're going to hit some stores. We're going to see some sights. We're going to do some stuff. We're going to go to Las Vegas. We're going to see my family. We're going to put up with my family. Abby's going to put up with my family. What is the concert we went to? We went to a concert.
Fogarty.
Yeah,
John
John
Fogerty.
Fogerty.
John
Yeah.
Fogerty.
It's awesome.
Fogarty.
And we were tracking our way back. And Jake goes...
This is the weirdest concert I've ever been to.
It was a weird concert.
Las Vegas.
Jake kind of pulled... in Twister, where they're near Aunt May's house? And they're like, we couldn't help but notice how close we are to Wakita. As we're tracking back, collectively, we all said, well, we couldn't help but notice how close we are to Estes Park, Colorado, which we weren't at all. Way to drive way out
Who
to get
knows?
there.
Hours and hours.
So, Abby, tell us what is special about Estes Park as we go down our journey to memory lane.
Besides the wildlife in the area and the antique stores, there's the Stanley Hotel, which is where Stephen King stayed when he wrote The Shining. And when we went in 2017, I had just started reading Stephen King books, which, Jake, you kind of got me into. And I had just finished reading The Shining. And it was kind of one of those really fortunate events where it was like fresh in my mind. And the ability to go and see the hotel that inspired that book, that inspired all the creepiness, and like the beauty, because that's what I really enjoyed about the book itself, is like I liked reading about the hotel and kind of falling in love with it. So it kind of is a character, so you want to go and stay inside of it and get like all the smells and the feels and everything.
Right.
So it was really cool to make that little trek up there. It was much like the movie, like winding roads on mountains with pine trees, and you
The
feel
trees sing to you as
Yeah.
you're driving. You hear,
and you slowly go insane because of the pressure in the air. It's like a kind of extreme, like, visceral experience to go up the mountain and get there. And it was awesome once we arrived. I don't know if y'all want to.
Well, so Jake flew in. We were driving. We had rented a car, like an SUV, one of the sports utility vehicles, and we were driving from Vegas, so like Nevada through Utah into Colorado. Jake, we picked you up in Denver. You flew in.
Yep.
And I just looked it up. So it's about an hour and a half, hour and 20 minutes to get to Estes Park from Denver. And it's like Abby was just saying, it's a really cool drive. And it's kind of a little resort town. Like, I think we were in the off season. Like, it wasn't like skiing season or anything like that. But think this was March or April of that year.
It had just kind of started to. There was some snow once we got up there in the mountains, like
Right.
on the mountains, but
Right.
not really in the area.
Now, Jake, for you as a Stephen King fan to go on this little journey, talk about it.
Yeah, well, I mean, that was also right around. It wasn't much earlier for me, like maybe a year or two earlier. I had really like dived into starting to read Stephen King, and I mean, much like what you just said, Abby, I had read the book and really, really loved it, and I knew that everything he wrote about that hotel was based on that hotel, and it's just one of those places you always want to see. So. Also, the fact that Dumb and Dumber was filmed there.
I mean, that's what I was
Yeah.
super excited about.
There's some really sweet
But
shots.
I mean-
yeah.
But yeah, but like, you know, I flew into Denver. I think we got lunch
Yeah.
somewhere in
Yeah.
Denver, and we drove there. And that drive really was like felt like a special drive because there were so much of that drive felt like you were in the middle of nowhere. There's like no other cars. You really are kind of on the side of a mountain at some point, and it's like really. It was like I remember we kept seeing rabbits and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, it was really nice, and
Maybe a
it
goat.
felt like a completely different world. And then all of a sudden, you kind of level out. You start to come into a city, and then you can see the hotel like, up on a
Overlook.
mountain. You're like, holy shit, it's
There you go,
right
the
there.
name. Yeah.
So, so this is the Stanley Hotel. Ab, do you have the facts when this place was built and all that kind of stuff?
I can if you give me just a moment.
Give me some factual information about the Stanley Hotel. Famous, obviously, like we recapped, Stephen Sting, famous wrestler.
Stephen Sting came down from the rafters and wrote about the Stanley
Steven
Hotel.
And then Jake was like, "Oh my God, Sting!" No. Stephen King stayed there. It, obviously, room 217 from the book, changed to 237 from the movie to the movie. Stayed in that room and was inspired by this hotel. And like Jake mentioned, Dumb and Dumber was also filmed there. So, and everybody remembers that hotel. Like, who doesn't remember the Ferrari or the Lamborghini, whatever it is, pulling up?
There you go.
Those boots. Oh my God. So some really iconic stuff. And give us the rundown. Give us the
do you
tale
want
of the
the
tape.
entire? Okay, Estes Valley was once a wild, lonely parkland known only to wandering tribes of.
I just want to know when the
I'm
hotel
not
was
going
built.
to any of that. Okay, the story of the Stanley itself began in 1903. Okay, so it looks like I think a wealthy man who was like a
Stanley.
vacuum cleaning.
John
I think he was
Stanley
vacuum
Steamer.
cleaners.
It's the Stanley Steamer guy.
There it is. Yeah, it is.
Wait,
There
is it really?
Yeah,
Oh.
Yeah,
it is. Literally.
And there's like a statue of him out front.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the same guy.
God, that
Yeah.
sucks.
It says the inventor, Freeland Oscar Stanley, arrived in the valley weak and underweight from the symptoms of consumption. To his amazement, just one season here was enough to restore his health to better than before. Overjoyed, he vowed to return each summer for the rest of his life. And then he bought
There you
the
go.
place.
And he bought it. He's like, and
out.
nobody else can come.
It's not that spooky. The actual history is not like
So-
creepy, but it's
Just like last week, we got some images to scroll through to kind of trigger our memories because it has been 18, 19, 20, 4 years,
4 or 5 years, yeah.
So, let's go down memory lane here with picture number 1. Okay, so now we stayed for 2 nights. This is in one of the hallways. They have this kind of really ornate looking mirror here. That's the 3 of us. Now we did not stay in the Stephen King room, as I recall.
We almost did. Well,
We thought about it.
remember when we had only planned to stay one night there because we had other stuff we wanted to do, but we
Right.
loved it so much that we were like, fuck it, let's just do one more night.
Right.
But I remember you asking about room 217, and usually it's something you got to book, but wasn't it something where it was like, oh, the day after tomorrow it's going to be open?
Yeah.
But we were like, that would have put too much time on our trip.
Normally at this hotel to book the Stephen King room, it's you got to book way in advance, that kind of thing. Now we haven't even mentioned that the whole thing about this hotel is that it's supposedly haunted.
It's supposedly haunted.
Yeah.
It's supposedly haunted, and I felt like we both heard a lot of weird stuff.
We
going
definitely
on.
did.
Yeah.
even though I don't really believe in hauntings or ghosts like anything, there were a lot of like weird noises at night.
Yeah.
Abby?
Yeah. Oh, that's how I wouldn't be surprised, like, if it was like the beginning of Ghostbusters Answer the Call, where like someone's like flipping a button to like make something knock over in the room. Because that's what people want with that experience.
But didn't you hear some stuff?
Yeah, I remember being in the bed and like it's first of all just beautiful in the room, the wallpaper and like the rich, I don't know if it's mahogany or what kind of wood. Everything is just really like nice, more than
It's
you've
classy.
ever.
Everything
Yeah,
just looks nice and
like you don't
classy.
even want to put the TV on.
No, I wore a tuxedo to the bathtub.
Yeah, I took a bath. It was all very special. But I remember sleeping and hearing a suitcase fall over, like a loud thud in the night, and we all woke up, and it was kind of a scary moment.
It was probably just one of our suitcases falling over. And making
Yeah,
a loud
but
do you
thud.
think?
Wasn't
I
in
do
one of
not
those
believe it
regular
was-
suitcase situations.
I just want to say I do not believe that there were any ghosts there,
No.
but there were just some weird.
There's
So
noises.
I don't
It's
have
an
any
old place.
Before we go
Yeah,
any
yeah,
further,
yeah.
we don't have any images of this, but they do.
Hotel settling.
We went on a ghost tour.
Oh yeah, I don't
of the
have. Well,
hotel.
there's some images of afterwards, but yeah, the way it went was I was researching the Stanley, and I was like, oh, they do tours. There's a ghost tour. We booked the ghost tour. But when we actually got into the tour itself, there was that like realization moment of like, oh, this is
We should have done the
a
other
little
tour.
song
There
and
were-
dance. Yeah.
Yeah, there are two tours, and I think right away we realized, oh, we're on the bullshit tour.
Yeah, Jake and I were like, we're on a
We
little
should have
kids tour. Fuck
because
this.
it was like they like brought us into rooms and made us pair up with people that we don't know and
Right.
made us
Yeah.
do like pencil. Like I was just like, this is all bull. I just want
felt
to
like a
see.
first
I just
date
want to hear
thing.
about. Yeah, it was like we
was bizarre.
clearly
For
realized
sure
we
bizarre.
were wasting a little bit of time. Yeah.
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 At one point, it felt like they bring you like into the basement and they turn the lights off and do this thing. And I remember when I was a kid, I went on a field trip to like what is it? What's the thing in Tennessee where you go inside the mountain?
Lossy.
No, not that.
Ruby
Not-
Falls?
Ruby Falls. That's what it felt like. So cool. Next
Yeah,
image.
pretty like when they're basically trying to fool a bunch of kids into thinking something's
Yeah.
going on that
Yeah.
isn't, lying to
So
them.
this is just a good shot of the Stanley at night. It wasn't very crowded while we were there. We
No,
kind
it
of
was
had
a little
the,
after Christmas.
I do want to say, even though that tour was kind of stupid, they brought us into the ballroom so like the TV version of The Shining was filmed at this hotel, and they brought us into the ballroom that they used for the movie, and that's a room you can't get into unless you're doing the tour. So
right.
I don't want to completely talk shit. We
Yeah,
were
if
able to
you've-
get into some
Access. It was
They
worth
also-
the access.
They also let us hold an axe.
That was
Yeah,
cool,
so we're
too.
about to get
Women
to
let
that.
us hold
For-
an axe for pictures, and they were really good pictures.
Yeah, for as much shit as we're talking, we like schmoozed with the lady
We
and then
can't
got
do anything.
hold the
The
axe.
greatest meal I've ever had was followed by me talking shit about it. I just don't know how to do anything else. What is it? 97, the made-for-TV Shining.
Something like that, yeah.
A lot of people have probably seen it. They filmed it actually at the hotel. This is just a good shot. One of the nights we kind of like we had dinner. It's the restaurant and bar from Dumb and Dumber. We'll get to some images of that. We just roamed the property. It was really cool, man.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
Yeah,
There's a
that-
lot of really cool stuff out back.
Cascades
There's like
restaurant.
a nice little courtyard
Yeah.
area and stuff. It's just everything about it is beautiful. The
Yeah.
entire grounds there. They have put in a little maze. It's nothing like the maze from the movie, but
Right.
they put in a little hedge maze just as kind of a thing.
Now,
I remember being out there at night and it was fun to kind of be roaming around where we shouldn't. I remember we saw like the kitchen quarters and wanted to get inside there. And then I remember
did.
we're out where that hedge maze was kind of, it goes out to like a cliff. And I remember it was very dark and we turned our phones like with the flash on to see something and we saw a bunch of eyes.
Oh
It was,
yeah,
like,
all the deer. Yeah.
Which was really
Yeah.
cool.
Yep.
There's just like neat moments.
Yep. And we were able to, I think I caught a 5-pointer that night. Is that something people say? Hey,
What is that?
I don't know. Caught a 5-pointer.
I caught a
I don't think
5-pointer.
that's-
Hunting?
And he's my pet now.
Ugh.
I hate him. I don't want to go on a thing, but not a big fan of that.
No.
Anyways, beautiful deer, beautiful wildlife. Okay, here's me in the restaurant with the Men Walk on the Moon newspaper clipping from Dumb and Dumber.
Cascades restaurant.
Very classic, iconic scene from Dumb and Dumber. No way.
And you're also wearing the shirt from the hotel in that picture.
Yeah,
which is cool.
I should say I bought the. Hey, who likes a gift? Who likes a gift shop more than us?
Oh my
we
God.
went crazy in that gift shop.
We
I
really
I wish
did.
I looked for
I bought
pictures
a
of
print
it.
that's still not hanging on my
No-
wall.
nope,
in that
Yep.
gift
still,
shop.
yep.
We got it too. It's not. It's in
All
front of
work
me.
and no
size.
play make blank space a dull boy.
Are you supposed to write your name in it? What?
You can really put anything
the
you want in there.
password is, speaking of Jim Carrey. By the way, how funny is that in Dumb and Dumber? We're at the bar and the FBI agent, you don't know she's the FBI agent. She's talking to Jim Carrey and she's like, "Oh, and then my husband came home and he decided wanted to fix the dishwasher." And he's like, "And you know what he did next?" And Jim Carrey looks at her and goes, "No, and I don't care." I love that so much. Okay, moving on here. Abigail, you're holding a key. What is this
That's
key?
the key to is it 217's the
Yeah.
original Stanley?
Oh yeah, they let you hold the key. Mm-hmm. Very
Yeah,
cool.
it was
Yeah, they
very
have
cool.
it like back behind the thing.
Yeah.
So technically,
Because
if you
the
think about it-
keys, because the keys now are all like any other hotel key. They're like
Oh
a key.
right,
that
they
slide
changed
it.
it
But
to
they
like a.
used to. But when you're at the at some point we were up at the counter and behind them is just a row of keys, and I was like, "Oh, that's cool. The keys are back there." And
Yeah.
she was like, "This is the 217 key that used to open 217, and they let us hold it
That's great.
for photos."
That's
Yep.
great.
What they
Dude,
don't
yep.
know is that I switched it out.
Yes, Jake has the keys.
I thought about
Swallowed it.
doing that because you can. Now I thought about trying that because you can buy replicas of those keys in the gift shop, which I did, and I was like, "Is there any way I could swap out the real key, steal the real key, and give
Oh.
them the replica key?"
Didn't we
But
buy a key?
we would have had to do disguises and come back and then
Yes.
pretend to still be Stephen King fans.
and also learn magic? So we
Yes.
could,
yes.
Did we?
key.
Diversion.
Also,
feel-
they're very.
They're smaller.
They're fake. It's clearly
It's not a
fake
real
key.
key.
The replicas. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I'm looking at it right now. It's pissing me
It's
off.
cool though. It's very.
We should
cool.
have pulled off that heist. Let's go back for another night.
the heist.
Craig will put off a smoke bomb.
Okay, so this isn't actually at the hotel, but we went on.
This is when we were leaving.
we went on a dinosaur hunt.
Yeah.
What
This was
Dinosaur
the day we
Ridge.
left.
Dinosaur
Well, we
Ridge.
went to shoot. Okay, but we also went to. So we did 2 dinosaur things.
Yeah,
in
let me
Colorado.
skip- right.
This is the later one.
Okay, so let me go all the way to the bottom here. This is
that
where we
was-
went to the
there you go.
museum.
Yeah. That's when I was married to Borzo
Right.
to get into the museum.
I think we got to give 2 shout outs for this museum.
Okay. And
Yeah, we do.
So
'cause
we
you
got
had
the
Buddy.
Borzo shutout, who's a prominent.
Borzo. Well, let's say why he got us into the museum.
He got us into the museum.
Borzo got us into.
We won't say how.
My museum.
Well, there's a picture of it.
Oh.
Literally on the screen.
We won't say. We don't want to tell you what we had to do for Boars, but let's just say I'm never laying.
Click this article. You'll read all about it.
You won't believe what Yes Have Some did for Borzu. And yeah. So and then Jake, I've got another image here. I think it's this one. Look at that.
Yes.
That's
What
your
is-
other shout out.
What is that?
This is the one. So that is a Triceratops skull, and it is a real. Sometimes in museums you're looking at replicas of bones. You're not always looking at real bones. A lot of times you're looking at some real bones and some replicas
Right,
because
right.
we don't have full skeletons.
Right.
This is a real Triceratops skull that was not on display. It was not in the museum. As you can see, it is inside of like a back room. A friend of mine, Antoine, who I've tattooed a few times, he is a paleontologist and he, works at museums. And when he found out we were going to be in that area, he said, "Hey, I know those guys. I get you a little tour." So he hooked us up, and we were actually able to have this like private backstage tour where we got to go in the back room where they prep all the fossils and everything, and we got to see that they are working on this, before anybody else got to see it. And he just talked to us a little bit about what they do and brought us into. Remember, there was another room we went into that had
Yeah.
a lot of people working on
Yeah, that
fossils
was-
and stuff. And,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was awesome. Like we love going behind the scenes. There's nothing that YHS loves more than going to like back behind the locked door to like the extra room to see the extra toys, extra whatever, the valuable stuff. So that was really cool to get back there.
Yeah, I touched that Triceratops skull. I'm not sure if I was supposed to, but I have a picture of my.
Did you do the
hand
trick? Did
on
you
it.
take
I was
it?
like,
Dude, cut to
yeah,
cut,
You
cut
switched
to-
it out with the one from the gift shop.
Cut to some
if I'm gonna
scientists.
be in front of a real dinosaur skull,
You're touching it.
and I'm gonna touch it. Okay?
There's a scientist right now in Colorado working on his thesis of how human DNA
Came in
Was-
contact.
Triceratops is part human.
We found a fingerprint. So that was great. That was really cool. And then the other one, there's like Dinosaur Ridge is like a walking trail where there's like people have found fossils. And
Yeah,
all
and
sorts of
footprints
stuff.
and all that.
Footprints and dinosaur
Yes.
footprints, and there was like another small museum. But that we went to that on the
way out.
On the way back
Yeah.
out.
way out of Colorado onto our road trip.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. So next up, so that was that
Still
one.
the same. This
So
goes back
this
to
is
our
the
tour.
axe, Abigail. So what they do is after the tour, they hand you this axe.
Well, they don't do it to
It's a
everyone. I
real
think it's
axe.
if you become friends with the tour guide, which we were intentional about.
Oh, remember I gave them $20?
Yeah,
Whoever it
you
was?
tipped in order
We
to
paid for it. Yeah,
I was
get
like,
this.
yo, let me get that axe.
Yo, hey,
we took some good photos.
it's for your trouble.
Actually, I think the axe was there, and I think we approached them and basically was like, "What will it take to get a couple of photos
That's
of
in
us holding
Craig.
this axe?" Because also in that room where those chairs were, right around the corner, is the miniature Stanley Hotel.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's we
right.
got a
was
picture of
built for the making of The Shining,
Gotcha.
the TV series.
Gotcha.
So
I might have to do a little TikTok video where I talk about why Jack Nicholson wasn't featured in the 1997 version of The Shining.
I think everyone's waiting for it.
So here's Jake with the look at that long hair. Look at
God,
that.
every time I look at these pictures, I get so jealous of how good my hair looks.
Dude,
back
it
then.
looks so good. Oh man. Anyways, the same shot that I had from earlier. We ate at that restaurant. It was kind of fancy. It was good though.
It was
really
nice.
good.
I liked it. I
Yeah.
thought the food was really good there.
You can always tell
I
the
wish
fries
that-
have the garlic and herb, and you're like, oh, this is a real restaurant. Okay, it's not one of these
This
fake
is fancy.
restaurants. What were you gonna say,
Ketchup
Jake?
came in a
Sorry,
little
I didn't-
ramekin. It was cool.
Oh, I just that Walking on the Moon poster is it's. I wish it was the same one from the movie, but
Right,
you
it's
know,
like the
clearly
replica. Yeah.
It's just a new one, but I like that they have that still there, and also down one hallway, there's like a glass case with a bunch of autographs and like memorabilia from The Shining and
Yep.
Dumb and Dumber, and I'm
Right.
just like, this is the coolest pairing. This is just the best stuff ever. There
Yeah,
was like
yeah,
autograph scripts and just like all kinds of.
It's the two greatest horror movies
Yeah.
of all
Like that.
time.
I want to
Yeah.
go back. I want to go back for a New Year's
I do
Eve
want to go back.
Well, they do like a party.
party. Yeah, they do. Let's talk about it. Talk about how we all got punked and we all got deep faked and fooled.
Okay, so
We were like,
they do
what the
they-
fuck?
They do various like throughout the year. Obviously, I don't know if they're still doing it right now, but they will again eventually. At the hotel, they do these big gatherings. They'll do like screenings of The Shining. They'll do New Year's
these-
Eve parties.
And there used to be a film festival. Every year.
Gotcha.
Okay, yeah.
And there's this picture. There's a photograph like on one of the walls, and it's all these people gathered around.
Well, it's like the photo from the end of the show.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's the
They
photo-
take that photo every year. It's so funny. All right, I'll take over. So we're looking at that photo. It's from whatever a couple years before, and it's got Jack Nicholson in it, and
Yeah.
like an older Jack Nicholson. And we're like, Jack Nicholson came to the fucking party. And then we found out that they hire Jack Nicholson.
Well, we were like, well,
impersonator
Jack
to come.
Nicholson doesn't look very good.
Yeah. His face looks
Looks a
wrong.
little.
His face is off.
Then we were like looking up to see if he was okay, and then we realized it was, in fact, an impersonator.
So here's Jake with the axe.
Yeah, that's
my-
the miniature.
That's maybe my favorite picture of me of all time.
That's tough.
That's a good one.
That's come out and take your medicine.
We need to redo
Jake.
this with an
I
iPhone
don't look
11.
half that good anymore.
Yes, you
No,
do.
you do.
Look double.
We all look better.
You look really great.
Yes.
Do I?
Yeah, Craig was
Look at
waiting
the-
for his compliment. You're not in the picture. Craig, you look fantastic.
I'm eating a salad for lunch.
Like,
But that's the
That's like the model.
the miniature that's used
Yeah.
in the
That's
movie.
great. Yeah, that axe was pretty heavy. Next up, okay, we saw that. That was the Triceraton. So this is classic for people.
classic Jake.
For people who don't know Jake, when Jake
You don't know
sees
Jake.
a photo opportunity, like this was planned months ahead of time. Jake's
Oh,
like,
for
Every
sure.
detail.
I got my shiny shirt, I got my shiny
socks
pajamas, got my
and
first
my
edition
shirt.
book. And this is great. This is right in the front. This was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a
Also,
gorgeous-
I'm 90% sure I left those socks there.
Oh, that's a bummer.
So we got to go back and get my socks.
back.
You
Yeah.
think they still have them in Lost?
Dude,
Let's-
I guarantee I was
send them a letter.
because we had hit some toy shops and stuff on the trip, and like I was so paranoid I got about like being broken into that I was bringing everything into the room. So like in our room, there's just a stack of Extreme Ghostbusters mint on card. Classic. And golf clubs. I have to be the intersection of golfer / toy enthusiast.
Hey, can I just say that like when you guys picked me up in Denver, I was like, how is this vehicle already full of shit? I remember being like,
Let's not even talk.
I remember it was like a SUV,
Yes.
and I got in and had this much space and
It
was
was
like,
a fake SUV.
what is happening?
I love this. I love
It was
Memory
great.
Lane. Okay. Here's Abby wearing Jake's pants, I think.
I was so ill prepared and jealous of Jake that I
Well,
borrowed
Abby-
his pants.
But see, I was ill prepared because you're the one who brought the book.
Oh, well,
That was
thank
your
you,
book.
Jake.
Abby had the
Hey,
book
thank
and the
you.
shirt. Jake had the you take a couple of Jake's things, you take a couple of Abby's. None of my things. My things don't matter. Okay,
Christ,
so
golf clubs.
my golf clubs and Extreme Ghostbusters.
It's kind of like a croquet mallet.
So that's all of them. Those were the
all you got
photos.
there?
Some
Okay.
good stuff. That was I really.
It was special.
That was a-
It was luxurious.
Now, a couple things about Estes Park. Besides the restaurant in the hotel,
the Cascades.
basically, Subway is your other option.
You got the Subway.
Well, I think there's probably a couple little places, but it's like we
They're
would
seasonal.
leave for the day. Well,
If you-
yeah,
yeah.
a lot of things were seasonal, and then we also left during the day
to go do
to
other
go
shit.
back to Denver. So
Mm-hmm.
when we were looking for food, it was like already nighttime. We
Yeah.
were like, Subway is the only thing that's it's either Subway or we eat in the hotel again.
Right.
So,
So we ate our Subway in the hotel.
So we
and
took
we
our Subway-
podcasted.
Yeah, we did a
but
podcast
that
from
was
the
a
room.
really that was like an amazing. That's like a bucket list place, and that was an amazing first stop on a really fun like week long trip we
Right.
took. You know,
Mhm.
and
It's a bunch of spots.
I would kind of like to do that whole thing over. Like,
I-
it's like I want to go back there. I want to go back to Chicago. I want to go to the Twister Museum, and we can go see. We like
Go see Austin in
Uh,
Oklahoma.
Hell
go see
yeah.
Austin. Like, I would love to do something like that again. But
Same.
that was a perfect first stop, I think.
Before we do that, can we please get an RV? Like a big traveling size bus so that we can all have space.
No, we're gonna get the same SUV.
I want the leprechaun.
Dude, there was.
I think we could probably just all bring less stuff with us and be good.
Yes, I agree.
There was a lot of
I've-
scratches on the
I've
back of
learned-
that car when we returned it. Like when you have a car for 2 weeks, it's gonna get fucked up. Like I don't know. Nobody ever said it.
We went to a lot of Walmart parking lots with that car,
Yeah,
so who knows
people
what
are
happened.
crazy out there. Listen, that was an awesome trip. Now we did spend a little bit of time walking around Estes Park. I remember we checked out like a cool like antique shop.
Yeah.
And, like
It's a nice
bookstore.
Like I remember, when we went into those two shops, they were like connected. It was like a little bookstore and like that antique store. And I remember out behind it, there was like a little place to sit, and there were some people out there eating. But then there's a stream back there, and there was like ice and snow, and it was all very nice.
Beautiful.
it was good stuff.
Yeah.
Good trip, man.
Yeah.
We'll do it again. We'll have another road trip type thing. Maybe we'll make it a YHS caravan. We'll just get like 50 listeners.
Get other people to follow.
Take
us.
over the hotel. We'll get that Jack Nicholson impersonator.
Yeah, we'll pick up people along the way. And oh my god, yes. We
It'll
have
be
to
like
track
Dumb
him
and
down.
Dumber.
It'd be like the
Pick them
Muppet
up.
movie.
Yeah. We'll bring Austin,
Dun, dun, dun. Mock.
Andrew Schaefer.
I just imagine.
Moving right along.
I imagine me and you and Jake and the Jack Nicholson impersonator just doing mock. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god. I can't wait. Let's do it. I love road trips. I love road trip movies.
Hold on. What if she meant 10 o'clock at night? What kind of a person meets at a bar at 10 in the morning? I just figured she was a raging alcoholic. Oh my god! So listen, that was fun. I really enjoy this. Now we should tell everybody next week. I'm excited about this one, and I'm not going to ask you. I'm going to tell you what we're doing next
Good,
week.
because I'm
Next
glad.
week,
We don't know.
I don't know.
Memory Lane, Ghostbusters Fan Fest,
Ooh, pushed up against the glass wall.
2019. What?
that set I remember being pushed up against the glass.
Oh, in the
wall.
autograph room?
In the autograph room.
Help!
Help!
I'm excited about it. And that'll be fun because a lot of our listeners were there. They'll be able to maybe we can go to group therapy.
Will you submit pictures? That would be cool if anyone has some
Submit your
really
pictures.
quality
Submit pictures.
memories.
Yeah,
and
we'll
maybe
a
we
memory.
can get Lainey Sarum on.
Jesus. Well, we won't be able to record it for about a month because she'll keep putting us on.
We'll maybe not.
No.
But
Okay.
it'll be fun. We'll have people submit pictures. We'll review your
I
photos.
have 300 pictures. From
Yeah.
There's some
that
good
trip,
stuff. There's some good stuff.
There's some good video of us, of you and Jake trying to roll a poster up during a stressful moment and talking about it.
Maybe what we'll do is we'll do the regular
I've got footage of the soup Nazi trying to put his own.
the
poster
regular
up.
episode.
Maybe we
we'll-
can make a slideshow or something.
yeah, like a slide
Yeah.
deck.
Ooh, yes.
What I was
For
gonna say
our
is
wedding.
because that was a long trip. Maybe we'll do Fan Fest and Ghostbusters related stuff for the regular episode, and then we'll do a Patreon bonus where we cover revisiting the Death Museum.
We'll just do a little autopsy.
Jake's one of the only human beings in the world that has. Not only did he touch the Triceratops,
He'd
he
go back.
took pictures inside of the Death Museum.
I did in the bathroom.
I didn't take many, but
Yeah.
You did?
No,
no,
he said he
actually,
did.
I don't think I did.
didn't.
Take
You
any.
absolutely didn't.
No, I
Oh.
didn't.
You didn't. And
I was respectful of the dead.
Here's
Yeah.
the thing: if you take pictures in the Death Museum, they're liable to kill you.
Honestly, the reason I didn't
so
is because there were
sorry.
Yeah,
a lot
you
of people
built that.
working there.
Yeah,
There was a lot of people in and out of
another interesting gift shop. So we'll have that next week, and then what we'll do is we'll put our heads together, figure out when this anniversary show is going to be, and what the deal is with that. And
I thought we were gonna get the Jack Nicholson impersonator.
he will be here.
Okay.
He'll be doing bad Jack Nicholson, off quotes.
Will you
Yeah.
pretend to be him for our 5-year?
Wait till they get a load of Jack Nicholson.
Impersonate the
That
impersonator.
was bad.
That was
What's
really
another famous one? I'm gonna,
All of a sudden, we don't know.
I don't know it.
Nicholson quotes.
bad.
dude.
I
he's got some
literally
good
watched
lines.
Batman '89 last night.
Oh, how was that?
I think that's maybe the best Batman movie.
So
Yeah.
awesome.
It's great.
So awesome.
Yeah. You do one.
Do one quote from
The
that
mirror?
movie. No.
Mirror. That's all it is.
That's
No,
all.
the
it is.
best
Mirror.
line is, "Hey Eckhart, think about the future." All right.
Cool.
All right, guys. Well, that was fun. Thank you for joining us for this Memory Lane celebrating 5 years of the Yes Have Some podcast. Godzilla versus Kong, Ghostbusters Afterlife. We covered a lot of ground. Make sure that you are tuning into all of our social media channels at
TikTok.
at YHS Podcast, at Instagram, or on Instagram and Twitter. You can follow us all individually, as you see below. And also, I guess if you're listening, you can't see that. At Craig Goldberg's, at Jacobzilla, and at /_mommy. That's our personal Instagram handles. And make sure that you are subscribing on iTunes or Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. We have a separate feed now for Toy Anxiety. It's its completely own thing. You can subscribe to that.
This is where the fun begins.
And subscribe on YouTube because now we are in video. Can you believe it? Took us 5 years, but we're doing it. And
Feels
We're
good.
in video now.
we're in video now. We had to wait for the technology to catch up to us. That's what it was. We would have done it earlier. It's that's why they didn't make Jurassic Park in 1987. They couldn't.
That's why George Lucas never finished the first 3 films because he didn't have the
Exactly.
technology.
And tune in to Yes Have Some Group Therapy on Facebook for all of the discussion. Great community there. Lots of good stuff happening in group therapy.
Yeah.
A lot of toy hunting, toy purchases, and there's a great vibe in that
Friends,
Facebook group.
friendship.
We all know how Facebook groups can be. So
It's because we keep memes out of there.
no
Yeah.
memes. I was between Bernie Sanders and Muncher, we had a very meme specific week, and I'm over it. Except for Muncher. Muncher
We
can
hit
stay.
the limit.
Yeah.
Now, nobody made a meme of Muncher and Bernie Sanders together. Just putting it out there. But I think it's done. It's done and gone.
Yeah.
Abigail, final thoughts.
I'd be happy not seeing that meme. It's my thought, but I could see as much Muncher as possible. I
Yes.
look forward to more Muncher. I can't wait for Afterlife, and that's
Yeah.
my final thought.
All right. Jake, final thought.
Godzilla is Mechagodzilla.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Now, when you say putting on the suit, are we to believe that at some point there's going to be a scene with Godzilla putting on a suit?
Are we to assume he sewed the
see
suit?
that part.
Oh, okay.
You don't see that because
'Cause-
if you see that, then it reveals the secret that it's not actually
Hold on.
Godzilla. You just find out it's.
I just can't.
Wait.
That
I want
there's a metal machine under that.
I want Mecha Godzilla to have an Instagram account where he puts his cosplay in progress posts for the costume.
His
He's making
Godzilla
for his
costume.
Godzilla
The last thing I
costume.
want to do is see Godzilla struggling to get his suit on. Really takes you out of it. All right, everybody.
It's stuck on all those
For Jacob Walsh,
spikes.
Abigail Gardner, my name is Craig Goldberg. Thank you so much for joining.
Godzilla needing someone to zip him up.
This was a lot of fun. We'll see you next week on Yes Have Some
just can't.
Podcast. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
I think it's funny.